Hello everyone. Welcome. Today we will talk about how to create a reservation manually on your system. We have 3 different ways for this purpose. The first one is through the calendar list screen. We will go on the left side, on the main menu, and go to the calendar. This way is recommended when you are already sure which listing you are going to book. Here on the calendar, you will identify the desired listing and click on the plus button. On the first line of your calendar, you will select the dates you want to, clicking on the first day until the last day. This next screen, you will select this first option to create a reservation and will click Next. The system will redirect you to the Make Reservation page. In that first field, the system shows you the chosen listing on the calendar and then just fills out the next information. Here on the guest field, the tip is searching first for the guest's name that will be the holder of your reservation, because the guest may be already on your system's list. This way, you avoid duplicate registration. So here is an example to show you. By clicking on Search, the system gives me the options that are already registered. So, just click the Select button. If there was not any register about this guest, you could create a new guest by clicking on the Create Guest button. Just fill out the information about the new profile that will be registered in your system. Continuing from the choice of an existing registration, just click here on the Select button. Finally, you will review the amounts referred to this reservation. Here the system will show you what is already registered on your listing, but if you wish, you can change it. By selecting Yes, you will have the option to apply a discount or overwrite the total amount. Lower down you will be able to choose your reservation status. You can create this reservation with the booked status or pre-reservation status, and it is possible to set an expiration date, so that the system, after this time, must delete the reservation if there is no payment. Clicking on the plus relation button, you will be able to set the reservation source. That means that you can relate it to a commercial partner. You can relate to the reservations agent and add an additional comment. After that, just finish your reservation. That's it. Here is your manual reservation. The second way is through the Reservation and Bookings option by clicking on the main menu, Reservation and Bookings, and then New Reservation. This way is indicated when you are not sure yet which listing you are going to choose or when you do not know your disponibility. This way, you can filter by the dates you want, by the number of guests, and then search it. The system will generate a list of the available listings according to these choices. Just click on the Select button and carry on with the information the system asks you, as per previous step. Let's select the guest, review the prices, and then choose the status and finish it. The final way, also used on the system, is via this shortcut on the top of your screen. By clicking on this option, you will be able to create a new reservation and, again, you will be redirected to the Reservation and Bookings page. Just do the steps that we have already seen previously. By finishing the reservations process, the system will redirect you to the Reservations page. There you are able to see the changes and include and remove new information about the reservation. One interesting thing on this page is that on the left side of the screen, you have the information about the guest's history. That means you can see all the reservations linked to the guest and can check some information about previous reservations. Besides, there is the account button that allows you to add and see a lot of information about the guest. You can add document information, access the user's profile, and other options. Besides this tab, let's see the actions it is possible to do on the Reservations page. At arrival and departure fields, it is possible to change the check-in and check-out times, as well as the date. Clicking on the pen icon, you can edit this information, which is possible to indicate a fee for early arrivals or late departures of the guests. Right away, on the Guests field, you can see the holder guest of the reservation. You can also add guests by clicking on this button. By clicking on this button here, you can see the guests list and it can be useful for your team. Finally, you can import documents, going to add documents. On the listing field, by clicking on this button, a few actions will appear such as the switch button in which you can switch to another listing in case of any issue with the actual listing. On the hosting invoice field, we can find the total amount of the reservation in addition to the extra fees on your system, so you can apply on the reservation. By clicking up here, we can send the invoice by email, print the invoice or send and print this reservations contract. Besides, it is possible to include other extra fees. By clicking on the plus button you can find new amounts, such as extra service fees, discount or loss. In this field, you can add extra service in case the customer offers in the reservation such as a cleaning fee, consumption or tour. Finally, there is the total invoice field that executes the hosting sum and extra fees, generating the total amount. In the security deposit field, the customer is able to put the security deposit amounts. In the total amount field, you can put the manual amounts that you are receiving. That means this field is where you put the reservations payment. By clicking on the plus transaction button, you can see the payment options registered in the system. In this case, we have the credit card payment option and it is also possible to include a bank transfer deposit or a payment link. In relation to the online payment through the credit card option, STICE does the integration with some payment channels. You can click on this option, set an amount, select an online payment channel, and then it is possible to charge the guest. It is important to remember that some channels work with typed sales. These typed channels allow you to charge from the system through this screen on the reservations page. By having your guest's credit card number, you can make the payment by sending the information to the channel and it finishes the transaction, makes the charging process and gives ABC to you that the charging was completed. This way, the amount is automatically posted on the reservations page. Going back to the payment options, on the bank transfer option, you are able to register the banks you work with, the amount, set the payment date and carry on. It is important to mention that by selecting the bank transfer option, you must manually put the amount on the reservations page. That is different from the online channel that automatically sends you the amount. Lastly, there is the payment link option, in which you can establish a period of time to let this link active. That means a deadline that the guest can pay the charged amount. You can also create installments and set the payment methods. On the payment method field, it is important to set the available options. In this case, I set the online payment through Pagar.me. This means that if I want the guest to make an online payment via Pagar.me, I establish a due date and value. By clicking on the link, it will redirect your guest directly to your website with that payment method you chose. From your website, it will process and complete the payment. This option is also an advantage for those who already have an online channel set up within the system, facilitating the payment method. Getting back to the reservations page, there is the communication field, where there are several email options sent automatically by the system. By unchecking the screen's options, these emails will not be sent to this specific reservation. If you wish to manually send some of these emails, you must click on this envelope icon to send it. An important tip is that you are able to edit the content and then you can send it to the guest. Here is the history in which you can check all the activities in this reservation. You can also change your reservation status and assign it to an agent. On the status, it is possible to go back to pre-booking or formalize a contract. Once you have selected the contract field, you cannot undo it. So pay attention when filling this field. Down below on the reservations page, there are two fields with free text in which you can let some information about the reservation so that someone else on your team can edit and observe it. On the Cancel this reservation field, by selecting it, your reservation will be removed from the calendar and a cancellation notification will be sent to the guest. And the Delete this reservation field, your reservation will be removed from your calendar and will not send a notification to the guest. I hope this video is useful for you and your routine during the reservations. If you want to access more information about the subject, go to the link on the description below. See you next time.